Hello there. Since the release of Elden Ring in February 2022, I have put more than 150 hours in the game. But after all this time the game began to feel a little stale, well at least the vanilla experience. So with me wanting to have another go at it, but not wanting to play the vanilla experience again, I started to look for mods to change it a little. And after a thorough look at the available mods on Nexus and a few clips on YouTube, I decided on the Convergence mod for Elden Ring. So what is the Convergence mod? The Convergence mod is an exhaustive overhaul of Elden Ring with dozens of new weapons, hundreds of new spells, extensively revamped areas and maps, new enemies, bosses and much more. For example, it adds 27 new starting classes, each with their own unique identity and playstyle starting location, and of course, each class now has its own unique progression path through the lands between. It also greatly overhauls the crafting system by making it so that all talismans are now obtainable through the new remnant crafting. Also for the old crafting you no longer have to buy cookbooks or containers, every recipe is unlocked right from the start. So by defeating bosses they will drop these new remnants with which you can now craft talismans, some of them old and some new. Also it adds new equipment to the game with new weapons, spells, and it also modifies the armors with new passive effects so that you can create your perfect character for your preferred playstyle. Basically this mod overhauls Elden Ring into a more proper RPG. So like with every run I started by creating my character, but to my surprise the origins were different, each with their starting gear and stats. For me I choose the Sellsword and an heirloom remnant to start with. After spawning in Limgrave, like in all my runs of the game, I started roaming around for hours farming runes and looking for sacred tears and golden seeds to upgrade my flask, and fought a few bosses in the dungeons and open world to level up a bunch. In this time I found out that some dungeons had different enemies in them, some areas were modified by adding new buildings to them, making you use new tactics to go through them. For example, Redmane Castle, I had to go here for my build for an armor which was better for me. I was very impressed with the way they modified this part of the game. You no longer use the teleporter at the start of the bridge in front of the castle, you have to enter the front gate and fight your way through the castle and along the walls and a bit outside of it to get to the final boss. They also modified the boss, which now has a different model, uses the weapon that he drops, has new moves and spells, after which it unlocked the Radon Festival, but the actual Radon boss fight was actually the same as in vanilla. I did not notice any changes there. While doing all the above I also defeated some of the Erdtree avatars, which now come in two variants, the one that we all know from the vanilla game, and the new one that looks more like the ancient hero of Zamer enemies. These enemies now drop remnants which are used to craft the crystal tears used for the Flask of Wondrous Physic. Speaking of which, let's talk a little about the remnant crafting. This is a new feature implemented in the game by the modders. With this you have the option to craft your desired talismans by using the new remnant item that drops from each boss from the game. Each boss drops a different kind of remnant, and each type of remnant can craft a different type of talisman. Like this they are encouraging exploration to fight every boss possible so that you may be able to craft all your desired talismans for your perfect build. I can't really tell you much about the new spells since I do not use them, I am more of a melee player. I know they added hundreds of new spells to the game, and I received the items that unlocked them from the enemies that I defeated but never used them. As for the new weapons I mostly used the Reavers Adachi once I found it. All being said, I really enjoyed my time with this mod. It offers a pretty balanced experience for the game, even though some of the bosses will be very easy after some time. But, since this is still an alpha version of the mod I am sure they will look at this issues in time. I can't wait to see where this mod will stand in a few months or in a year for now. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.